Continuing where we left off in the last video, now that we have the pricing enabled on our product, we can also add some functionality to make our product more interactive in the shopping cart. For instance, when we're editing a product that we've already added to the cart, I want to be able to, first of all, pre-fill the quantities that I've specified, but also I want to be able to change these, and I want it to reflect my updated pricing. So the first place we need to change in our code to enable the form to prefill is in our product type. So in the event product type, I already have commented out a function that I've added called process by request. So I introduced you to the by request in the last video, and it's essentially capturing the form data that was submitted and saving it with that item in your cart. So processing the by request will be able to essentially parse options out of the by request, which can be used by your front-end view. So this is essentially a magic function that's called somewhere in the Magento stack, and what this allows us to do is use something in our template. So our template that we created in a previous video for our event options, we can now use this line that I've added using a function called get preconfigured values. So the options that are processed from the buy request eventually show up in the preconfigured values. So I can get the data from that, I can get my ticket data essentially, and then I also added a value attribute to my text inputs. So I can test for my quantities just to make sure I'm not going to get any errors when there's missing variable, and simply echo the quantity for each ticket. So once I save these and reload my edit page, it should pre-fill my quantities. Good, and it also fixed the pricing on the page. So now I should be able to update my quantity by 3 VIP tickets now. And you can see the pricing is still updating. So another thing that I would like to do is be able to see from the shopping cart page exactly which tickets I'm buying. Again, we're going to add a function to our product type model. And the function I've already written is commented out. So when I uncomment my prepare options function, what this is going to do is essentially anytime a product is being added to the cart or added to some type of product list, it's going to essentially parse the buy request. So this is almost like the opposite of the process by request function. So what I'm going to do is create an array called additional options, and this additional options array I'm going to label it with the ticket title and give it a value saying I'm ordering this much of that ticket, so just the quantity. And what we do is add this as a custom option to the product. So we're not adding it to the options array that we're returning, but rather we're adding it as a custom option called additional options. And then essentially later in the call stack, Magento will look for this custom option, and it's part of the default product type renderer, so we don't have to add any new templates to Magento. So with this saved, I'm going to go back to my cart page, and I'll reload the page. Alright, reloading didn't do anything because that's only run on product add. So if I actually edit, and I'm just going to keep everything the same and just click add to cart, and this is actually going to trigger that function to run. So now you can see it's telling me which tickets I'm buying, and it's giving me the correct price, and everything's good. So let's recap. First, we added a process by request function to our product model. This enabled us to store additional information in our product model, which could be used by our template. In the second step, by editing our template file, we were able to pre-fill the ticket quantities based on that buy request that was processed earlier. Finally, in our third step, we added a prepare options function to our product model, which allows us to check the quantities and the ticket information anytime a product is being added to the cart, and set the appropriate additional options for Magento to render, giving us more information about our ticket purchase. Coming up next, we'll be exploring features of Magento and controlling guest checkout, so stay tuned.